Hello, good morning everyone. How are you everyone? Good morning everyone. Welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS channel and academy and welcome to our daily Hindu newspaper analysis. I hope everyone is doing fine and great, right? Okay. So, let me know just one thing, if I am audible or not. The students who are with us online, just let me know so that I can start the session for today, right? Okay. चलिए जी, आज का सेशन स्टार्ट करते हैं. ओके, द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई एम गोना टेल यू इज द थिंग हाँ जी, गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन. द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई एम गोना टेल यू एवरीवन इज रिलेटेड टू वर्ड ऑफ द डे. ठीक है, दिस इज द वर्ड्स दैट यू कैन यूज इन योर आंसर्स एज वेल. द वर्ड ऑफ द डे इज गॉब्लिन मोड. Now everyone must be wondering what is this goblin mode, right? हमने तो ग्रीन गॉब्लिन सुना था, right? हमने तो ग्रीन गॉब्लिन सुना था. तो ये गॉब्लिन मोड क्या है? This goblin mode is a particular behavior. This is a particular behavior which rejects social norms or expectations and is basically about self-indulgent. So this is the word that has been now called the Oxford word of the year. This is the word that has been the Oxford word of the year. Yes, good morning everybody. Good morning everyone. Tune in fastly so that you can understand this goblin mode, which is the word of the day. This is very, very important word. It is a particular behavior which rejects social norms or expectations, or you could say they are basically those persons that are self-indulgent and they are not apologetic about it. So this is a very interesting word, that is goblin mode. I hope you would be able to write this word in answers or maybe use in your vocabulary. I hope in the coming time this word get ingrained within your system, right? Okay, so we will start the session for today. Okay, before that I just want to make this announcement that we have a ignited current affairs batch that has been going on from 1st December, where we are extensively covering Hindu, the Indian Express, the Press Information Bureau, Hindu Business Line, Down to Earth and Yojana, right? So it is a very, very well planned current affairs batch that if you guys go for this batch, you would be covering all the current affairs that are coming in the basically all the newspapers as well as magazines. There would be certain prelims question given to you in each class as well, plus a mains question to practice as well. And the fees is very, very nominal. It is rupees 999 per month. If you have any query related to this batch, if you want to join this batch, you can certainly call on this number, or you can and ask for any help that you want regarding to this batch, right? Okay, so we will start the session for today. First of all, very, very important, World Bank has raised India's growth projection to 6.9%. World Bank ने हमारी जो growth projection है, it has raised to 6.9%. Now, as we know, there have been serious downfall in the growth of economies worldwide. But somehow India is not that much affected if we compare to other market economies. India has not that much been affected as compared to other emerging or the market economies. One of the reasons for this better growth rate projected by the World Bank is the reason behind our GDP growth, that is our private consumption. This is one of the major trigger points of our GDP growth. I hope everyone knows how to calculate GDP, right? If I take it from the expenditure side, let's say, then private final consumption expenditure, that is PFCE, is the main driver of growth of GDP. So this has been the case in India, that we could say that we have seen a better growth rate if we compare it to other countries. but somehow there is a certain disappointment in the numbers of employment. There is a disappointment in the numbers of employment. People are saying growth is there, but that growth is certainly like this jobless growth. Now here comes the thing, what is this jobless growth? Jobless growth is basically when we talk about there is increase in the GDP, but it is not able to create employment. There is not able to create employment. But ऐसा नहीं है कि we don't have this employment situation, unemployment situation. There are jobs, but those jobs are in the informal sector. Jobs are being created, but those jobs are being created in the informal sector. And we have to ponder over this and try to make them more formal. And try to make them more formal so that our growth shall not appear as a jobless growth. So this has been the thing that has been said by the World Bank in regarding to our GDP growth, which they have projected be going down to or going up to 6.9%, right? So these are very, very good numbers if we talk in terms of India in context of the situation, what is happening around the globe, considering the various, we could say, recessions that we are witnessing in the Western countries, right? Hanji, does anyone know? A little question for you guys, what are the various methods of calculating GDP? If you know them, you can write in the comment box and let me know, right? Okay. Let's see what the next news states about. This was again on our front page, very, very important. Curbing terror financing in Afghanistan holds the key to regional security. This is being said by our National Security Advisor. Curbing terror financing in Afghanistan holds the key to regional security. Now this thing is very, very important. Earlier this year, India Prime Minister met with the countries of heads of Central Asia, and there he said that we need to have a more dialogue between the national security advisors of the respective countries. So as a result, there has been a recently going meet between the national security advisors of India and the Central Asia. Now if we consider the geopolitics of India and Central Asia, Afghanistan holds a very important key. Afghanistan holds a very, very important key. How? Let's say this is the map of India. Let's say this is Pakistan and this is Afghanistan, let's say. Right? Now, peace, security and stability in this region of Afghanistan is very, very important. अगर यहाँ पे peace होगा, security होगी और stability होगी, then we can say there would be stability in Central Asia as well, because then you would be able to conduct economic ties as well. You could have your connectivity if you have a better dialogue with the administration of Afghanistan. So overall, if we talk about Afghanistan, then it is a very, very key player right now because it holds the key for the entry to Central Asia. So as a result, this region becomes very, very important. Plus, we know that it could become one of the terror grounds as well, or the breeding ground for the terrorist as well, considering the situation between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Moreover, we know the Golden Crescent passes through Afghanistan. So there are two major problems that are right now facing Afghanistan, that is the terror problem, and the second one is the drug problem, and third is the humanitarian crisis, if we could say, that is prevailing in the state of Afghanistan. So as a result, this region becomes very, very important in coming times, that we need to have a peace, security and stability in this region if we want to have a better, let's say, neighborhood. अगर हमें better neighborhood की तलाश है, तो हमें यहाँ पे we have to maintain peace, security and stability. And this was the reckoning of the leaders of the National Security Advisor of the respective countries, where they said peaceful, stable and secure Afghanistan is the need of the hour, right? So this was the basic news that was mainly concentrating on Afghanistan, right? Okay. So this was our front page news that was very, very important. Okay, now this is a very interesting article that we know that there is a problem of air pollution in Delhi, right? I think everyone knows about this problem. There is a problem of air pollution in Delhi. But they say Delhi is choking, we all know. But everything cannot be blamed to stubble burning. Everything cannot be blamed to stubble burning. Stubble burning, if I could say, is one of the factors. It is one of the factors, if I say, stubble burning behind the pollution in Delhi. But there are serious questions that we need to ask when we consider the problem that is there in Delhi. We know stubble burning occurs during the months of, let's say, October and November, when it is at its peak. As a result, we say the situation of Delhi becomes very, very bad. What about the rest of the year? Rest of the year also, the problem of pollution is there in Delhi. As soon as certain problems come, graded response action plan kicks in Delhi, where they shut down the schools, ban the entry of heavy vehicles in Delhi, ban the construction activities. But everything cannot be relied upon these measures. We need to take certain extra things and ask the questions that what is really the matter that is lagging behind and that is aiding the problem of air pollution in Delhi. So there are certain questions we need to ask. What are those questions? The first question is, who is ensuring compliance with the rules relating to handling of construction and demolition waste? अब ये जो कंस्ट्रक्शन और डिमोलिशन वेस्ट से जो पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल हो रहा है, लेट्स से पोल्यूशन इज हैपनिंग ड्यू टू दिस कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड डिमोलिशन वेस्ट, who is ensuring there are compliance of rules, first of all. Second, why there is not enough usage of public transport when we have buses and metros? Why people are still preferring, let's say, their own vehicles? Because vehicle is the largest source of, we could say, emissions in Delhi. So why is the people not moving towards these public sources of transport? The reason could be because there is not enough maintenance in buses, in metro. There is not enough last mile connectivity if we talk in terms of buses or talk in terms of metros. So these are the reasons that are, we could say, hindering the people towards using this public transport. So this article focuses that we need to move beyond stubble burning and look at these factors as well. We need to make sure that our public transport system in Delhi is better managed, better maintained. Second, there shall be, if I talk about better handling of construction and demolition waste, if anyone is resulting or causing the pollution, then that person shall be held accountable by the authorities. So this was the demand of the article, that it wanted to suggest upon or emphasize upon that stubble burning is not the only problem. You have to look at other factors as well, right? Okay. See, when there is a question from a student that shall we maintain good relation with Taliban, directly we cannot, but there is always a door for backdoor diplomacy. I think you will be able to understand this. There is always a door for backdoor diplomacy. सीधा आप बात नहीं कर सकते because there is a serious humanitarian crisis that is going in with the Taliban administration, and we know how cruel they are, right? Okay, okay. I think everyone has got this article. This was a very, let's say, practical article that doesn't want only to be the focus on stubble burning, where we have seen that entire focus is put on stubble burning. Air quality index gets degrading, air quality becomes severe plus, graded response action plan kicks in. You have to ask the other questions as well. What about the rest of the year when Delhi is under the crippling crisis of this air pollution, right? Okay. Now, this is also very interesting, we could say, opinion page that has come up, right, related to a recent act that has been introduced by United States. The name of the act is Inflation Reduction Act. We are not, let's say, we will not go on this argument that हम humanitarian crisis को वो कर रहे हैं, right? There's a lot of problems. If we talk about Myanmar side as well, there are a lot of drug trafficking, if we could say, that is coming from that side, arms trafficking, weapon trafficking, that is coming from that side. But if we talk about Afghanistan and Taliban, right, कि वहाँ पे क्राइसिस है, हमें पता है, हमने वहाँ पे बिल्डिंग्स, पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग बनाई, राइट, तो हमारा कुछ फर्ज है एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को लेके, इफ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द ओल्डर वर्जन, राइट. ओके. No, we are not trying to make friendly relations. We just want that our presence also shall be there and try to, let's say, have a talk with Taliban through backdoor diplomacy. It shall not be on the frontal side, right? Okay. Now, the next article is very, very important. It is related to this Inflation Reduction Act. I will tell you in this very much in brief so that you guys have an understanding what this act is all about, right? Now, USA wants to commit to Paris Agreement. I think everyone would know that they want to reduce their emissions. Under Joe Biden, they have agreed that they would be the part of this Paris Agreement, right? So they would be reducing their emissions. And one of the major factor in reducing the emissions is going carbon free. So what better way to promote electric vehicles in the country? कि हम इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स को प्रमोट करें कंट्री के अंदर. वन ऑफ द थिंग यूएस वांट्स इज टू प्रमोट द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल्स इन द कंट्री so that they are able to commit to their Paris Agreement and its goals. As a result, they have announced certain tax benefits to the, let's say, manufacturers if they have their base, let's say, in USA, if they have their base in USA, or let's say any with another country that has a free trade agreement with USA, जिसका फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट है यूएसए के साथ, तो वहां पे दे वुड बी प्रोवाइडिंग द टैक्स बेनिफिट्स. एज अ रिजल्ट दे वांट टू प्रमोट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इन यूएसए related to electric vehicles. Now here is a problem that has been, let's say, we could say, reckoned by European Union countries or certain countries of Europe. What's their problem is all about? They say if they would be providing the tax benefits, let's say USA is providing the tax benefits to the manufacturers who want to manufacture electric vehicles. Obviously, if we talk about Europe or if we talk about UK, everyone has their emission targets to reduce, but the manufacturers are looking for better options to manufacture where they get better line of credit and better tax breaks. Suppose there is a manufacturer in Europe who is getting a better option to manufacture in USA as compared to Europe. So he would try to shift its base to USA as compared to Europe. So as a result, if the company start moving from Europe to USA, Europe would lose majorly on the tax as well. यूरोप किसके ऊपर लूज कर जाएगा? टैक्स के ऊपर लूज कर जाएगा, बिकॉज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग वुड बी शिफ्टेड टू यूएसए. So as a result, Europe has a problem with this Inflation Reduction Act that has been introduced by USA, which is basically tax benefits in alignment given to those manufacturers who are promoting the consumption of electric vehicles. So this act becomes very, very important, right? So this was the act that was in the news, right? This PDF will be shared with you guys and you can read from this PDF. I hope this is clear to everyone. Basically, यूरोप की अगर हम बात करें, उनकी problem, they have the problem with basically the manufacturing that would be shifted from Europe to USA, and they would be losing on the tax part. They would be losing on the tax part. That would become, let's say, a loss of tax revenue for the European countries, right? So this was a very important article that was in the news. Okay. Now, as we know, or we discussed, that China is trying to increase its influence in the Indian Ocean region, right? China is trying to increase its influence in the Indian Ocean region. So recently, a surveillance vessel has been seen in the Indian Ocean. A surveillance vessel has been seen in the Indian Ocean. And it is coinciding with the launch of or the testing of our, let's say, Agni 5 इंटरमीडिएट रेंज बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल। ये सब किसके साथ कोइंसाइड कर रहा है? इट इज कोइंसाइडिंग विद अग्नि 5, लेट्स से intermediate range ballistic missile. Now here is the problem that China is posing to India by increasing its influence in the Indian Ocean region. Let's try to understand this whole situation through a map, right? इन सबको एक मैप से समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. Let's say this is our Indian Ocean region map. First of all, I want to tell you that initially China began its presence in the Indian Ocean region in 2008. 2008 में they started, let's say, in 2008 they began their presence in the Indian Ocean region by conducting anti-piracy operation in Gulf of Aden. They started with presence of, let's say, anti-piracy operation in this Gulf of Aden, right? After that, they have been deploying their vessels in two basically major areas of Indian Ocean region. What are those areas where they have been deploying their vehicles? It could be research vehicles, it could be surveillance vehicles, right? Which are those areas? These are this Southwest Indian Ridge and this 90-degree East Ridge. This is this 90-degree East Ridge. These are the two areas where we have seen the lot of deployment of vessels of the Chinese in this Indian Ocean region. Now, what is the problem? First of all, let's try to discuss what is this 90-degree East Ridge. It is that part that is coinciding with, see this is the 90-degree line of longitude. So, that is why its name is 90-degree East Ridge, and this is basically the area that is dividing Indian Ocean into western part and eastern part. Very, very important. This is that ridge that is basically dividing the Indian Ocean region into two parts, western and eastern part. And here we have this basic Southwest Indian Ridge, which is the boundary between the Antarctic plate. It is the boundary between the Antarctic plate and the Somalian plate. Very, very important facts. You can write down these as well. That Southwest Indian Ridge forms the boundary between the Antarctic plate and the Somalia plate. And if we talk about this 90-degree East Ridge, it divides the Indian Ocean into two parts, western and eastern parts. Now, here are the two areas where we are seeing more of the Chinese presence. We are seeing the more of the Chinese present. And recently, in the, we could say we have to test the Agni, our intermediate ballistic missile, and it has coincided with the new surveillance vessel of China that has entered the Indian Ocean region through this Sunda Strait. Can you see this narrow water body? This is Sunda Strait, and it is basically between the islands of Sumatra and Java of Indonesia. In दोनों के बीच में है basically we have the Sunda Strait. So the Chinese vessel has entered into Indian Ocean through the Sunda Strait, and we have seen over the years their presence along this ridge, Southwest Indian Ridge and 90-degree East Indian Ridge. Now, this is very, very important. This divides the Indian Ocean into western and eastern parts, and their presence in the Indian Ocean region started with anti-piracy operation in Gulf of Aden. Now, what is the problem? Problem is China अपनी presence Indian Ocean region में increase कर रहा है. If China is increasing its presence already, it has established Djibouti as a military base. It is having construction of ports in the region of Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Pakistan. So we have a lot of problem with China encircling us and trying to increase our presence in the Indian Ocean region, which India sees as its tactical stronghold, where it want to increase over the years its tactical hold. So this is a big problem for the Indian if we talk about from the China point of view, and we have to see what could be done in regard to this. And we have to develop, I think the time has come, we have to develop a national maritime security strategy. This is a time it has become very, very important for us to have a national maritime security strategy. I hope this point is clear to everyone. This was a very interesting article that Yuanfang 5 surveillance vessel of China re-enters Indian Ocean, right? So this is a very, very important news. Okay. Moving to the next part. Okay, now this was in our world affairs news, where China's Xi set to visit Saudi Arabia for milestone summit. Now Chinese president would be visiting Saudi Arabia and meeting with the members of Gulf Cooperation Council. Now recently China has replaced, very important, China has replaced European Union as the largest trading partner of Gulf Cooperation Council, and instead in its place we have now the China, the largest trading partner of this Gulf Cooperation Council. Moreover, the last match that happened between Portugal and Switzerland, where Portugal crushed Switzerland by 6-1, that happened in Lusail Stadium in Qatar. Match कहाँ पे हुआ था? It happened in Lusail Stadium in Qatar, and it has been built by the Chinese help. It has been built by the Chinese help. So China has been engaging more in this, we could say, Gulf Cooperation regions, Council regions, and its presence is increasing. As we could see, now it is meeting the leaders of like Saudi Arabia, who traditionally have been, let's say, more closer to United States. But now the time is changing, and China is progressing more on that side as well, and is showing its presence by having a, let's say, interaction, or we could say more and more interaction with the leaders or the countries of Gulf Cooperation Council. Maybe it is one of the reason it wants to pursue its Silk route, that is, one is through land and one is through maritime Silk route, right? So China बड़े giant strides ले रहा है, whether it is in the Indian Ocean region or whether it is having a connectivity with the Gulf countries. So China is doing a great part if we talk about from their point of view, right? Okay. Now, this was a very, we could say, a news based on technology. Now, recently, a new artificial intelligence tool has been designed by the name of ChatGPT. It is by the name of ChatGPT, and it has been, let's say, a very important artificial intelligence tool that has been designed by OpenAI, a research institute founded in 2015. ज़्यादा इसमें कुछ समझने की जरूरत नहीं है. This is basically a chat type of artificial intelligence tool. You ask anything related to anything, your query would be solved just like that. As we could say, Google works. Everything that there is any information, it is under this ChatGPT. So it is quite revolutionizing. We know artificial intelligence right now, how much it has revolutionized and how much it is would be revolutionized in the upcoming years or the decades. So very important that this ChatGPT has been developed by OpenAI, right? So I think this was an important news that came in today's newspaper, right? So this was the basic analysis of today's Hindu newspaper. Just we would have a quick look at the newspaper. This we have discussed. The World Bank raises India's growth projection, and curbing terror financing in Afghanistan holds the key to regional security, right? This was the important news that came, right? Now moving to the editorial, there was nothing good in the, we could say, states news. This was the editorial that we discussed, Delhi choking but do not blame stubble burning, right? So this was very important. We have discussed this. Okay. Then we discussed this Europe concerns about the US Inflation Reduction Act, about the manufacturing thing of electric vehicles. Then we discussed this ChatGPT, a natural language processing tool. Yuan Wang 5 surveillance vessel enters Indian Ocean. There was nothing here. Everything is now being focused on the results of Gujarat and Himachal elections. We don't know whose government is going to come, but exit polls are saying BJP are coming, right? So this was another news that was related to China's influence in the Saudi Arabian region, right? So there was nothing much beyond that, and we have tried to cover all the news. Last was the sports page. बस इतना याद कर लेना कि एंड में जीतेगा कौन, right? Okay. So this was it from the today's Hindu newspaper. Okay, Pooja, it was uploaded by me late in the evening. Actually, I was not feeling well in the morning, so after that I have uploaded it. I hope you are enjoying this session, and if anything you want me to make a change, I would make that. I think This is the complete whole Hindu analysis, nothing beyond this. You need to read, just read those articles and the PDF and your purpose would be solved. I hope we are doing great, both of us, like me and the audience that I have, and it is a really nice teaching you guys because you are interacting as well, and we are guys are having a very good point. And I would try to make sure that our Hindu analysis is being covered within these 30 minutes, right? So that it doesn't get too elaborative and you are able to cover the newspaper in 30 minutes. How to cover standard books? Standard books would be covered by reading them, or if you want, you can, I don't know whether you are a part of our institute or not, you can join our NCERT batch, right? Or if you want to study current affairs, I would tell you once again that if you want to study current affairs in a very holistic and a comprehensive manner, then the one place that you shall stop it as this ignited current affair. Very, very important. You can take a demo as well if you feel like then it is worthy of you giving the time. I think then you should be joining this ignited current affair course batch. The classes would be maximum of 50 minutes, where on each day everything that is coming on the Hindu newspaper, the PIB, the Indian Express, the Hindu Business Line would be covered in the classes, right? Analysis hasn't become shorter, it's just that nothing more is coming in the newspapers. If good articles come, the analysis become a little longer, right, Om Shi Hong? Okay. You have any query related to anything, so that if anything is there, I would be able to handle that and would answer that. If nothing is there, then we can certainly end the session, right? Okay. If anyone has any query related to this current affair batch, you can contact this number and ask for this Ignited Current Affairs 2.0, right? Okay, guys. This is it from me. Yes, we could say this paper today has more advertisement, right? Okay. So thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow, same time. Keep reading Hindu newspaper, keep following our analysis, and thank you so much.